Hey, this is Scott at GottaGrowIt.com. I got to tell you, I'm thrilled that you're checking out my video. I got some stuff I want to share with you about making raised beds, building raised beds. Some people have asked, how do you go about doing that? And there's a lot of different ways that you can do it, but I want to show you just one of many ways and different ways that I've done it. This one's a pretty simplistic way. It's a stable way, and I think you're going to be amazed how easily and really how cheap that you can really pull this thing off. But before I get into all of that, because I want to show you not only the grow box, putting the grow box together, I want to show you my compost and my soil that's going to go into the grow box, because you're going to want to know about that too. You can't just throw anything in that grow box. You can't just go scraping up some dirt somewhere. You want to be able to get, if you're taking the time to build a good quality, raised bed in a box that you're going to put everything in, you want some pretty good soil. So I've been thinking about, well, I have a shout out for Amherst Earth Products. I'm telling you, these people are in Amherst, New Hampshire. If you're in the southern New Hampshire area, you're going to want to check out these people. They're generous. They're just good folks. So I don't want you to misunderstand this though, but when you first walk in, the first impression with the owner that's there, good guy, this tall guy. I mean, this guy looks like if you offended him or if you crossed the line, he'd be the kind of guy that would take you out in the back of the building and take a spade shovel and whack you in the back of the head and bury you in a compost pile. You could kind of get that sense oh, I better just kind of toe the line. But I'm telling you, this is a good guy. He's a generous guy. And so I know that you'll enjoy going over there if you decide to get something. So I want to share with you the things that you need to know, the things that you need to have in order to build this thing. We're talking pretty simple stuff, okay? 2x4. For one bed, you're going to need 8 pieces of a 2x4. Let me just show you what I got here. What I've done is I've taken this 2x4 and I've marked off every 10 inches a spot here to go ahead and cut my 2x4, and I want to show you what I'm going to do with that. One 2x4 is under $3, like $2.97, okay? So we're not really talking a whole lot of money with the 2x4. So you need one 2x4. You also need to get, this is how I did it at Lowe's. I got a 2x8. So it's 2 inches, thick, and it's 8 inches wide, because you want to build a pretty deep bed. Now, some people like to go 10 inches. Some people actually like to double them up. But I'm thinking, hey, if you want to put the extra soil in and all that, I think that's absolutely wonderful. 8 inches of soil will pretty much grow anything. You can get your carrots in there, you can get corn in there, you can get tomatoes in there. I think 8 to 10 inches is plenty of soil, but you go ahead and put in however much you want to do. So what I do at Lowe's is I buy one board, one 2x8 by 12 feet, and I have Lowe's cut it for me in half. This was once one board, it's now 2 6-foot boards. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to make a 3x6 bed, okay? And because I think that's a much more, it's a better manageable size bed. A 4x8, although you can get a lot of good stuff in there. For those of us who are kind of challenged with our height or our arm length or our big bellies or whatever it is, it's a little hard to get in there on a 4x8, but a 3x6, you could, anywhere you're standing around that box, you could reach in pretty easily. Even those of you that are kind of short with those little arms, you'll be able to do it. So a 3x6, pretty manageable size, easy to build, okay? So, all right, so I've got my one board that's a 12-footer. I have Lowe's cut it in half for me. I'm not even doing the work on that. So I've got my 2 6-foot boards. Then, I got them right over here. Let me come around here. I'm still buying the 12-foot boards, and what I'm doing, because I'm making several beds, I then take one of the 12-foot boards. These are 3-foot pieces, okay? And so I have Lowe's cut one 12-foot board into 4 pieces. So that's enough to build, those 4 pieces is enough to build 2 beds, because then I'll show you what I'll do with these smaller pieces. We'll put these here for right now. So that's basically all you need as far as the wood goes. This is it. You got 2 pieces of wood, the 2x8 by 3, and then the 2x8 by 6s. You got 2 of those, and one 2x4. So probably pretty good to put some gloves on, because I'll tell you, if you're handling wood, and you may think, I'll just do it really quick. You're handling wood, you can get a sliver pretty easily, let me tell you. Anyway, so all you're going to do is, I've got things already marked here. You're not a carpenter, okay? Things don't have to be perfect. I'm not saying, do it with one eye open, but I'm saying it doesn't have to be a perfect cut or even a perfect measurement. But I did, measure them out at 10 inches. And so here we go. I'm going to just do a cut here. Oh, yeah. Now, on a 2x4 at 10 inches, if I did my math right, I'm going to get 10 pieces. I think that's right. And if not, you know, you math whizzes out there can, you know, email me or comment and say, hey, dude, get your math right. But anyway, you're going to get enough pieces off of one 2x4, I can guarantee you this, to go ahead and do one bed. So you're going to cut your 2x4, get your 10-inch pieces, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that. Oh, by the way, you need to get some screws. And you want to get some galvanized screws. They have coated screws, but galvanized would be the thing to ask for. I'm using 2.5-inch screws, and you're going to need a total of, let me see, it's 2, 4, 6, 8. You're going to need a total of 8 screws per corner, so you're going to need 32 screws to build a box, okay? All right, so when you're doing your 2x4s, what I've done is, and by the way, it is 10 pieces on a 2x4. I just figured it out, because you're going to get 9. If you go 10 inches, you're going to get 9 pieces, 9 cut pieces, 10 inches long, and then you're going to get one that's a little bit short, and maybe we'll do something with the one that's a little bit short. So what you're doing is you're taking the 2x4s, and you're going to just put them together, okay? Now, I am going to match them up, and maybe if they're not cut perfect, which probably they won't be if you're anything like me, but they'll be close. But what I try to do is at least keep one end flush, okay? So you'll notice, actually it looks like I did cut this pretty good, but I like to have it one end flush, because this will be at least the part that you're going to see when you're looking down in your bed and you got all your stuff in there. It'll be kind of nice to see that that's flush. I don't really care too much about the other end, because that's going to go into the ground, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. So I'm taking this and putting it flush together. Oh, this is something you're going to want to know. It'll make your life a whole lot easier. If you have 2 drills, it'd be good to have it. Okay, I've got one that's a plug-in drill, good high-powered drill. I've got the screwdriver piece in there, the Phillips head in there. Okay, the drill thing. Then I've got my little special Black & Decker screw gun here. And what I'm doing is I'm going to pre-drill some holes, and I'm going to go a lot smaller than the screw that I'm doing. Now, not tiny hole, but you don't want the hole that you're going to drill to kind of pre-drill the hole to be bigger than the screw, okay? So keep that in mind. And the reason why you're going to do the pre-drill is this stuff's pretty dry. It's pine, it's pretty dry. And you should do it with all wood anyway. Good to pre-drill so you don't crack it, okay? And then you're like wasting your stuff. So basically, I'm not measuring or anything. I do like the top piece. Maybe I go about 2 or 3 inches down, right in the middle, and I'm going to just go ahead and make my hole. And then I'm going to do the other side. You try to keep it, you know, if you know where it's flush, you can kind of keep it together. And then you go ahead and you do the other side. And so now you've got your 2 holes ready to go. So you got your hole here, and you have your hole there, okay? So there it is. So now I'm going to grab the screws, and you're going to see why it's really good to have the 2 drills, so you can do this simultaneously, and you're not pulling the drill bit out of the drill gun and then putting in the screwdriver head and all that stuff. You just pick it up and you're ready to go. Put this into the hole, and off you go. Doesn't get much easier than that. Grab me another screw. And here we go. And here is your finished product. You got a screw there, and you got a screw there. Look at that. That's what you're doing. Okay? It holds it together. Kind of flush it. Yeah, in this case, well, see, it's not really flush at that end. So that'll be the end that I'm going to put into the ground. Okay? So that's what you're doing. And you're doing 4 of these. Okay? So you have a total of 8 pieces of your 2x4 by 10 inch. Okay? So all right, so what you're doing is you're setting up your 3-foot board here and your 6-foot board over here. So I'm making kind of an L shape, okay? And so I'm going to just go ahead and set it up. Well, I need to go ahead. I added something under this 3-foot board to make it square and flush to the other board, okay? And all you're going to do is you're going to take, and you're going to be happy you got these 2 drills, man, because it's going to be bang, 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 and you'll get this thing done. You can build a box, I'm telling you. If you get all the stuff prepared and ready to go, you'll build a box in half an hour, okay? So you come in, you take your drill, I just sort of try to center it so it goes into the middle part of this 3-foot board, because you don't want to crack anything, okay? And so I just sort of set it up, get it in place, come in, you know, maybe about an inch, inch and a half down on the 6-foot board, and I just drill that baby in there, and then I do it again on the bottom because I want to put 2 screws in here, okay? And that's what we're going to do. So from there, got my screws, got my second drill. Look at this. I mean, you just don't lose any time, you know what I mean? Kind of, whoops. Here we go. That'll be nice in my tire, won't it? Anyway, so here we go. So you get your screw in here, get lining up with that hole. You're going to be amazed. You're going to be amazed how easy it is to build a 3x6 box for your raised beds. Okay? Here we go. Okay, so there's one in there. Look at that, perfect, perfect. And there you have it, okay? So, you got the first part of your, first half of your bed is already made. I'll go ahead and do the other pieces, and I'll show you what I do with those 2x4s. We're moving right along. The box is built. We got all 4 corners are screwed in together. 2 screws on each corner. Remember, jog those corners, okay? There'll be more integrity. Now what we're going to do is take these 2x4s that we did, 10 inches, right? We know we're looking at an 8-inch board, so we're going to have about a 2-inch, overlap. It's going to stick up 2 inches. I'm actually working the box upside down. It'll make sense to you in a minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to position this into the corner of this box, and I'll give you another. I'm going to come in, going to hold this corner flush, and use a little bit of elbow grease, strength, a little bit of elbow strength. There we go. We got that one in, and then we're going to drop a second one in toward the bottom. It's going to make it really nice and strong. And a little bit of pressure. And then we're going to do 2 on this side. It's going to be so easy to do this. I'm telling you, you're going to be amazed. You can show off to everybody about, hey, how you made your own little grow boxes. Your raised beds, you know. I mean, already I'm excited. I mean, we don't even have soil in this thing yet, and I can imagine all the stuff that's going to grow in this box. Can't you imagine the same thing? Oh, I'm so glad you're doing this. I mean, to take the energy and the time to create something that you're going to put good quality soil in so that you get to control your environment. Oh, speaking about the environment. So notice that I'm just using straight pine. It's pretty cheap stuff. Man, don't be using pressure-treated stuff. What are you thinking if you're like, oh, it'll last longer in the garden? That stuff's loaded with a bunch of junk in there. You don't want that leaching into your garden stuff that your food is going to grow in. Now, if you want something and you're willing to pay a little bit more, cedar would be an optimal wood. It would last a little bit longer, okay? But I'm telling you that even this pine, this is a soft wood. You're not going to be moving this thing around all the time. Once you set everything in place, once you get these corners to sink into the ground, and this thing is held together in place pretty solid, as you can see that we're doing here, this thing will last 5, 6, 7 years easy. Just don't disturb the box. You get in there, you move the soil around year after year, you can condition the soil year after year, and there's no junk coming out of this wood that's going to, leach into your garden, into your vegetable garden, and you're not going to consume that stuff. See what's great about this? You get to control absolutely everything about what you're going to eat out of your garden. Just think it's great. I'm inspired. Let me find the hole here. Here it is. I'm just inspired. I hope that you are too. And here we go. So then you get that last one screwed in. You pull your bed out. Look at this. You pull your bed out, and you are ready to go. Let me show you this thing. There it is, ready to go. a 3x6 grow bed. Now it's not going to go in this way because remember, we're going to take those 4 corners, and when we line this box up in the garden, wherever it is that you want to put this thing, you're going to dig just little holes so that these 4 posts, as they were, will set in those holes, and then you're all set to go. Now, what you need to remember is you need to, you don't just want to just take that box and just like throw it anywhere. You want to find the sunniest spot that you can find, number one. Number two, if you've got grass and stuff like that all over the place, you know, where you're going to put this box, you can't just throw the box on top of that grass, throw a bunch of, you know, soil in there and think that everything's going to be okay. It's going to be crazy and have roots down in there. The grass is going to try to come, you know, grow up through all that stuff. What you want to do is get a piece of plastic. It can be, you know, clear plastic. It can be black plastic. Black is always optimal, I think, but you can pick any kind of plastic and cut it out about the same size, maybe slightly larger than the 3x6 box. After you take out all that grass, chop up all that grass and get it out of there as best as you can. And then you're going to lay that plastic down, make those 4 holes, dig those 4 little holes so that these posts can go into it, set the box on top of the plastic, and take something and make a bunch of holes. I say a bunch, and you don't have to make a million of them, but go ahead and poke some holes in there in the plastic so that way the water drains out, and then you're ready to fill this thing up with some soil. Now, speaking about soil, I started this whole thing with a shout out to Amherst Earth Products. Let me tell you the stuff that they're selling over there. I mean, this is good quality soil. Actually, I've purchased soil and I've purchased compost, and I want to show it to you. Listen, this is what it's all about. I don't want to touch this stuff with my gloves, man. I want to get my hands in this stuff. I got 2 piles. Here's some good quality organic compost. Look at this stuff. I mean, it's filled with, you know, things that used to live, you know, like twigs and you know, old leaves and all kinds of good stuff that's decomposed. There's your organic compost. And then, let me just break this up. This is just some good, clean, quality soil. And you can see there's just a good blend. You know, there's a little sand in there and stuff like that, but it's a good blend of some good organic matter as well. And what you can do, if you want optimal, if you want it the best that you can get it, I do a 50-50 on this. 50% good organic quality compost and 50% of good clean soil. Mix these babies together and you'll have the best start for your grow box than you've ever had. Thanks for checking out my video. Peace out.